Hello everyone, and now welcome to Game 2 taking place here on Whirlwind. Yes, this is the first time I've ever cast a game on this particular map, so let's get into the introductions. A Strelok is spawning here on the bottom right-hand side of the map as the blue Terran player. Meanwhile, top right is going to be Mouse Sports' Mana, so Protoss versus Terran once more. Now let's take a look at the size of the map, and the map size just feels absolutely huge. It feels like a just gigantic, gargantuan size map at this stage, and I'm curious as to what the strategies here will be. We are going to see Strelok now set up a supply depot, pylon off over here, and based upon the size of the map, I do expect these players to go for a much longer macro game. Also, one thing to note, there is actually a ramp leading to your natural expansion. And with a ramp at your natural expansion, it's much easier to place down bunkers, place down units, and basically draw a line in the sand. If your opponent wants to come and fight, if your opponent wants to come and play, they are going to get absolutely punished in trying to do so. Now, Strelok is opening up with a barracks first. I do expect one Rax expand coming in. Mana may actually try to forego his assimilator. We'll see if that's going to be the case. It looks like, yes, he is going to be foregoing his assimilator. So it's going to be a one-gate Nexus. Now, one-gate Nexus does benefit from a faster economy overall. You're going to see him just chrono boosting out a whole bunch of probes. He will still be forced to warp in a pylon, though. Otherwise, he will end up being supply blocked. Probe now making its way down. This is going to be standard timing, 17 supply for that Nexus here, or 18 supply for that Nexus here. There it is, the Nexus. Wait, yeah, there is the Nexus now, as the probe is going to start to do some scouting. Now, a little bit of a lucky break for Strelok, as he will be scouting in the correct direction. We can see already the slight advantage of Chrono Boost, allowing Mana to have 2 additional workers and also be able to throw down his Nexus first. Protoss players will admit or just enjoy the fact that their buildings do not actually need to be babysat in order to be built. So the worker can just simply go back to work, as the probe does get taken down. A nice shoot and scoot there by that Marine, able to shoot down that probe before it was able to make it up the ramp. But then again, Mana pretty much knows everything he needs to know by seeing this one command center here. Strelok now opting to build a bunker on the front. You can see that there is also this supply depot here. It is not the lowered variety, it's actually raised. So I'm assuming that this is to make it easier for a front door seal to actually be possible. Terran players and Protoss players who want to seal their front door against Zerglings don't have such a large ramp to deal with. At the same time, they can also put a pylon here or some other building, supply depot. Even if this building goes down, there is another one behind it. Strelok now transitioning into Reactor Hellions. And if you take a look at the harvester count, it is 25 to 19 right now. Mana currently sitting with 2 zealots, but can't really do much of anything else. Mana is forced to train both of these zealots just because one zealot cannot take on 3 marines. The splitting at this level, the micro that Terran players are able to execute and use, allow 3 marines to take down a zealot without the single marine actually, or without a single marine actually dying. So that could be a potential problem there, as a stalker is now making his way out into the fields. Now, third option bases, you have 2. You either have this double ramp expansion here, or you have this high ground expansion here. Now, this expansion is actually a little bit in a odd way expanding closer to Mana. So Mana having a little bit of a slight advantage there, perhaps being able to execute some drops. Also, I believe there is a cliff enough that Colossi can simply walk up here and start dealing a bit of damage there. Now, back over, so this would be the same expansion here. Both of these players may actually be able to get up onto 4 bases rather quickly, and if we still see Mana chrono boosting out probes, which we do, we may see Mana really trying to shoot for that late game. Now, Hellions battling up against a Stalker. That is not a good fight for the Stalker just because of the sheer number of Hellions. The Hellions are going to finish off that Stalker, and dealing a lot of damage there. Hellions now backing away. We are going to see gateways. Stalkers are going to be holding position. And oh, the units are unable to drive by. The additional supply depot there, finishing off that wall in. Very, very crucial. Very, very key. As at this point, I may think that Strelok may try to set up a command center here and start oversaturating, or at least saturating, his bases. We can see one Banshee is on the way. And I do not believe an observer is anywhere on... Nope, the observer is now on the field by Mana. And Mana is going to be able to deal with this Banshee before this Banshee really gets operational. No photon cannons. No static defense, as this Banshee looks to fly in here. Now, if the Stalkers do move their position, the Hellions may simply just try to drive over. Here you go. There is that cloak. Beautifully done. The Banshee already at 4 kills. And at 4 kills... that is going to be a heavy, heavy loss in terms of resources, as Mana is being forced to try and retrain. We are seeing probes now getting taken down. There you have it. More and more probes are taken down as the observer is now nearby. More Stalkers are warping in, and will Strelok actually end up losing this Banshee down to 20 hit points? And the observer just a day late and a dollar short too slow, as the Hellions now have made their way in. Wow, this could be a very, very big turnaround. Strelok now just running in with all of these Hellions. Will they be able to, yes, be able to get in a lot of damage? 8 workers killed, 9 workers killed. More workers are still falling, 10 workers killed total. Hellions now trying to make their way in. Strelok getting a single extra Hellion there, but it's not going to do any more damage, as we now see a new cloaked Banshee in the natural expansion. Observer is nearby. It will get revealed, and that Banshee is going to be forced to retreat once again. But what is this? A repairing pit crew nearby to repair this one Banshee, as the SCVs are unable to chase. Now let's keep track of what Mana's going to be doing off over here. He does have a proxy pylon in order to perhaps backdoor entry into Strelok's base. Strelok actually investing into a Raven already. So he has a fast Raven, and I believe, yes, he also has Seeker Missile already researched. I believe this is part, I don't know what version of the patch this is, but the Seeker Missile has been researched or is available to him. And I like this play from Strelok to actually have a Raven in the air early on in the game. Sometimes Dark Templars could sneak their way in the front. We are going into a Templar Archives, though, which means High Templar will be able to feed back that Raven before that Raven may be able to get off even a single spell. Here we have it. Strelok now sitting at 49 Harvesters compared to 56. Mules now being called down from the sky. Templar Archives nearing completion, as we see Strelok transitioning into a very, very heavy tank play. Currently 6 or 5 tanks on the field, 2 more on the way, 6 tanks on the field with 2 more on the way, and they will be battling up against Immortals. Hellions, do they have the blue flame tech is a key question. No, they do not, as they will be going up against Archons. Archons are essentially the perfect unit to absorb a lot of damage, but they're not going to be able to deal that much in the grand scheme of things. Hellions now giving chase, and the Hellions, oh, cause problems, but some force fields trapping some Hellions on the wrong side of the wall, and also taking down that one Raven. Siege tanks now attempting the siege. Point defense drone doing a great job intercepting all the attacks, as supply depots are now being added as a front door wall. This is very interesting, as the SCVs are now working overtime in order to finish off this walling attempt here. Now there is one observer, but that observer is revealed by a quick scanner sweep. We can now see that Mana is going to lose this front warp gate just due to the sheer number of units. Now, unbeknownst to him though, Mana is warping in some units on the high ground off to the left. It is a little bit further away, and that is perhaps the defining factor why Strelok is still a little bit behind. He's now at 113 compared to 130 supply. He's in prime position to attack, but if Mana is able to warp in more and more units, perhaps even getting Zealot charge, Zealot legs, that is going to be a definite problem. All right, here you have it. A whole bunch of siege tanks. 10 siege tanks in position. Hellions now looking to run in. Stalkers are still off over here. When are they going to actually try and engage? That is the question now. Zealot Archon chrono boosting perhaps out the Zealot leg upgrades. Yes, we have that. As now we are going to be seeing the Hellions now make their way in. Probes are still falling, and I believe Strelok is just overextending in a position, thinking that he has this game in the bag. Zealots now coming in from the far side. Here we have it. Flank on both sides as Archons. Zealots are now getting into position. All the Zealots are trying to make their way in. Warp Prism now warping in from the back as well. And Mono with a beautifully, beautifully executed attack completely surrounds and crushes this. Oh my goodness, that was an amazing, amazing turnaround, and I really got to see that come back. I did not expect that at all. I had that Warp Prism play off here, dropping 2 Immortals behind the line, then going into phase mode, and then timing this so perfectly so that the Immortals are coming in from the back. They're going to be focusing down this. There's the phase mode. The siege tanks are all focusing down Immortals. The hardened shields doing exactly what Blizzard designed, absorbing attacks from high damage, low attack rate attacks. And that was the GG. That was just the perfect surround and destroy that I've ever seen. So Mana showing what a little bit of micro and a little bit of map awareness can do, coming back from about 20 to 30 supply down to absolutely crush his opponent. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed Game 2 in this series.